is in me, moving through me, beyond question, steady and strong. Power and presence is my essence, been within me all along. What is there to be afraid of? Pure light is what we are made of. Life is in you. Can you feel it? Look inside you, look around. Power and presence is your essence. Where you stand is holy ground. What is there to be afraid of? Pure light is what we are made of. What is there to be afraid of? Yeah. Pure light is what we are made of. Life is in me, moving through me, beyond question, steady and strong. Power and presence is my essence, been within me all along. What is there to be afraid of? Pure light is what we are made of. What is there to be afraid of? Yeah. Pure light is what we are made of. What is there to be afraid of? Pure light is what we are made of. What is there to be afraid of? Pure light is what we are made of. Yeah. What is there to be afraid of? Yeah. Pure light is what we are made of. We are made of pure light. We are made of pure light. We are made of pure light. We are made of. I have not been forgotten. This is my sole desire. Further, deeper, higher. This is my sole desire. Come, flood or fire. This is my sole desire. That I may be an instrument of grace. May all you see be mercy on my face. And one day we will be all together. This is my sole desire. Further, deeper, higher. This is my sole desire. Come, flood or fire. This is my sole desire. Further, deeper, higher. This is my sole desire. Come, flood or fire. This is my sole desire. This is my sole desire. Set my soul on fire. This is my sole desire. Further, deeper, higher. This is my sole desire. Come, flood or fire. This is my sole desire. Further, deeper, higher. This is my sole desire. Come, flood or fire. This is my sole desire. This is my sole desire. This is my sole desire. Set my soul on fire. This is my sole desire. Storm cloud, come circle me again. Dark, steady rain on my horizon. I have weathered you before, I will weather you again. Stronger than ever known, never alone. Stronger than ever mine. Look how I've grown. Lifted in every endeavor. Stronger than.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Reverend Christina Tillotson. I'm one of the ministers here at Seaside, and it's such an absolute honor to be leading this celebration of my dear friend Sharron Powell's life and our amazing practitioner here at Seaside who has loved and served so much here at Seaside and in the world. So what we get to do is celebrate her life with our family and friends and celebrate that difference that she's made in the world for us and in so doing for all humankind. So I'm going to do an opening prayer right now, and then our dear Peggy Lebo is going to bless us with a musical gift. So turning within to that place where I know there is only that one power, that one presence, that one life, that love through and as all of its creation in this universe and in all universes, ever expanding in light and love through all of its creation. There is only that, and I call it God, and it doesn't matter what anyone calls it, but it's that essence of life on this planet and all planets and all universes. It is that essence of life and love and wisdom that cannot ever be stopped, that continues on and on and on into eternity. And that is who I am, and each beautiful spirit here is, and each one coming in on the podcast is. Perfect expressions of that light and that love and that perfection of spirit, surrounded in that love of spirit. And so I'm knowing for this sacred time together that presence of spirit flows through and as each one here. allowing that comfort of spirit to be revealed, that light and that love of spirit to be revealed, and that light and that love and that service that was Sharron to be totally celebrated and honored in the perfect right way. And so I just gratefully accept this light and this love and this perfection and this divine right action and this wisdom of this sacred time together as I release this word to the law, knowing that it is now done in perfect grace and love and wisdom and caring. And so it is. Amen.
Such a long way home from where you have been. And what will it take to bring you back again? And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here. Can you hear the sound, the whisper in your soul that calls you back to where you belong? And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here. Behold the love, behold the light in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. In your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And all your searching's brought you to this place. You cry for mercy and you long for grace. Feel the love, feel the light. Won't you come in from the cold? 'Cause all are welcome here. Feel the joy, feel the peace, and the comfort of home. 'Cause all are welcome here. Yes, all are welcome here.
Thank you, Peggy. That was beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So on an occasion such as this, our thoughts turn to what we believe is eternal. And each person might have something different that you believe. So I invite you right now to just close your eyes and go inside and allow yourselves to bless or say the prayer that you would say in your own tradition. And I'll remain silent for a moment. Well, thank you. And so the purpose of our celebration day is twofold. First, we're here to release what has been, the very human dramas of our love for the human form of Sharron, and our shared stories and our histories and our stories about our amazing relationships with Sharron. But we also open our hearts today that our relationships with her might be reborn through the grace of God. What God has given to us in the form of Sharron, no one can take away. What God brings together shall be together for all eternity. God is more powerful than death. And we celebrate the fact that Sharron lives forever. And that's what she believed, and that's what we believed, and that's what all of the world's major religions believe. And so today we celebrate the eternality of Sharron's life. And we do that in community with each other. And a lot of you are from different places and different areas of Sharron's life. So what I invite you to do right now is to take a few minutes and stand up and greet 3 people that you didn't come with, just so that we can be in community with each other and knowing that all of us are here to celebrate Sharron. So please take a couple of moments to do that now. Thank you. Give your last person a hug if you choose to. And now we can truly celebrate Sharron's life in true community with each other. So this is what Sharron believed. And she still believes this on the other side. Actually, she more than believed it and believes that she actually knows this about the eternality of life. Everything that exists or ever did exist or ever will exist is within God. From the most inconceivably tiny particle to and beyond the outermost galaxies of infinity of space. Everything lives and moves has its being in God, whether it is here or on the next dimension. And here's a story about that, and I really love this. This is about the eternality of life in our transition to our next experience by the Reverend Dr. John Heffernan. Try, if you will, to imagine the most beautiful and perfect tiny baby you've ever seen. Only a few days for birth, still in the womb. Imagine that you can communicate with this little one and you ask the question, what is your world like? Listen carefully and you hear, my world is a wonderful world. Here I am snug and cozy and warm. I'm surrounded by love and everything I need is there even before the need exists. I hope I can stay here forever. Now you ask another question. Where is your mother? What does she look like? You can imagine the little facial expression of this little one changing to one of quandary. You listen again and hear, my mother? I don't know what you're talking about. What is a mother? Do I have one? You smile to yourself as you realize this little one cannot possibly know anything about her mother until long after she's born, and she learns about the parent-child relationship. And yet she will never be any closer to her mother than she is right now, since she lives, moves, and has her being within her own mother, just as we do in what I call God. So where does the baby go when it's born? It doesn't go anywhere, since it's already here within its mother's womb. And yet a whole new universe has come into being where the horizon is ever expanding when it's born. What is birth? Beyond the biological and physical experience of being ejected from the womb, birth is actually the transition of consciousness as a baby passes from its seemingly one-dimensional world in the womb out into this world of 3 dimensions. Following birth, this little one grows through infancy, childhood, adolescence, and finally reaches maturity, taking its place in the world of adults. Then eventually death occurs, as it does for all of us. Doesn't matter what the cause, it does. And now we face 2 of the most significant questions of our entire existence. What is death? Death is the passing beyond this 3-dimensional world into other worlds of varying dimensions, into an ever-expanding universe with ever-broadening horizons. We die, but we live. Life as we know it in this 3-dimensional world will continue just so long as the body retains sufficient channels through which vital energy of God can flow. When enough of these channels cease to function, the body dies. And it's just like discarding old clothes. What happens when the individual passes through death? Where does one go? Just as the unborn baby must pass through the process of birth so that life shall continue, the individual passes through death for exactly the same reason, to experience greater and greater life. Where do we go when we die? Like the process of birth, when the baby passes from its one-dimensional world within the womb and moves out into this world of 3 dimensions. Death is the passing from this 3-dimensional world into that world of many, many more dimensions. Our consciousness continues to expand in direct relation to the ever-expanding universe, with its ever-broadening horizons as it unfolds before us. So just as the unborn baby cannot possibly perceive that its world is part of and within the 3-dimensional world, we often cannot and do not perceive that our world is part of and also within other worlds of innumerable dimensions beyond this one. So I'm absolutely sure that Sharron is dancing and flying in those innumerable dimensions. And as much as we miss her physical presence here, there's no way any of us would want to bring her back, because she is flying. She is experiencing that expansion of consciousness, that transition to the next level of experience is for all beings. And this is said really well by one of my favorite authors, Richard Bach, in the book Illusions. He says, what the caterpillar sees as a disaster, the butterfly sees as the touch of the master. So Sharron is that butterfly that's been touched by that master, ever expanding into whatever worlds, because she had such light and love and a consciousness of service here. It's obviously continuing to expand ever and ever greater into her next experience. And this is said really beautifully by Celine Dion in her song Fly. Let's see if I can get through this without crying. She says, fly, little wing, Fly beyond imagining. The softest cloud, the whitest dove upon the the wind of heaven's love. Past the planets and the stars, leave this lonely world of ours, escape the sorrow and the pain, and fly again. Fly, fly, precious one. Your endless journey has begun. Take your gentle happiness, far too beautiful for this. Cross over to the other shore. There is peace forevermore. But hold her memory bittersweet until we meet. Fly, fly, do not fear, do not waste a breath, do not shed a tear. Your heart is pure, your soul is free. Be on your way, don't wait for me. Above the universe you'll climb, on beyond the hands of time. The moon will rise, the sun will set, but I won't forget. Fly, little wing, fly where only angels sing. Fly away, the time is right. Go now and find the light. So as our beloved Sharron continues to fly, and that I know that she continues to live in the memories and the lives of all who knew her and all the lives she has touched. So you, Sharron's friends and family, are invited now to come and speak about your memories and share your memories about how she danced here on earth. And I'll call you up. We'll begin with her beautiful, amazing, loving husband, Sharron Powell.
Thank you, Reverend Christina. I'm not going to talk about BS today. That is my life before Sharron. And I'm going to leave it to some others this afternoon to talk about BK, Sharron's life before Carrie. But I do want to tell you the story of how we met. I don't know. I know some of you have heard this story. At the time, Sharron lived in Dayton, Ohio, and I lived in Muscatine, Iowa. And the chances of our meeting seemed pretty improbable. But it was Christmas time, and we were both coming to California to be with family for Christmas. Sharron was going to San Francisco, and I was coming to San Diego. And I had brought my guitar along, figuring I would play some Christmas songs when I got home. We both had a change of planes in the St. Louis airport. And I was waiting by the gate for them to call my flight to board when this beautiful lady came running down the concourse. They had changed her departure gate to the gate next to mine. And this was before 9/11, so this was when you could carry all kinds of stuff on board an airplane. So she had a big bag of wrapped Christmas gifts, and she collapsed in the seat across the aisle from me, and we got to talking. And at one point, she pointed to my guitar case and said, "Do you play guitar?" And I looked at her and I said, "Well, as a matter of fact, I do. Do you sing?" Her answer was, "Only in church and in the shower." I told her, this isn't exactly church, but it is Christmas time. How about joining me in a Christmas song? So I got out my guitar. We stood there in the gate area and sang a couple of Christmas songs, and 250 people waiting for the two planes to board stood up and applauded. I remember one lady even asked if we sang together professionally. Sharron always told me that I exaggerated when I told this story. And think of it, these were two 757s about to board, each of which seats probably 160 passengers. So it was easily 250 people in the gate area. So I didn't exaggerate. But But they called her flight first, and she ran to get in line. And then she ran back, and she looked at me and said, "My name is Sharron Woodman. If you ever get to Dayton, Ohio, give me a call." And ran off to board the plane, and she was gone. And she went on to San Francisco, and I went on to San Diego. And then I got home after Christmas, and I had to make an attempt. I called directory assistance. What city? Dayton, Ohio. And as luck would have it, she was listed. I left a message on her answering machine, and she called me back when she got home a few days later. And we talked on the phone for every night for a couple of weeks. And sometimes I'd play my guitar and sing to her over the phone. And then I asked, "How about if I come out to visit in Dayton?" And she said, "Yeah, sure, that sounds great." And we made arrangements for the following weekend. And I took a day of vacation on Friday because it was a long drive. It was 450 miles, an 8-hour drive from Muscatine to Dayton. I found her apartment okay. Sharron had pulled together an incredible spread of hors d'oeuvres and desserts, and we ate our fill there in her apartment. And she had theater tickets. And we were off to see The Music Man. And now, unbeknownst to me, I found this out some years later. Friday afternoon, she calls her friend Jane and says, "Jane, I've invited this man to come and visit who I've met for 20 minutes in an airport. Can you please call every half an hour to make sure that I'm okay?" I understand that after the second or third time Jane called, she said, "Jane, I think it's going to be okay." We continued to talk on the phone every night after that weekend, and I tried to plan something spectacular for the following month. And the Eagles were playing their Hell Freezes Over tour in Chicago. I said, "Well, Chicago's halfway in between." Made arrangements for her to fly to Midway Airport, and I drove to Midway to pick her up. And we went to the Eagles concert. And before the concert, I don't remember why, but daughter Tammy and son-in-law Greg were there. Just happened to be there in Chicago. I understand that they had been out to Dayton to visit Sharron, and wanted to check out this new guy. But we had a lovely dinner together. We got acquainted, and then we were off to the concert, and they were off to another event, and we had a wonderful time. And then Sunday afternoon or Sunday morning, we were eating at the restaurant at the hotel and I was getting ready to take her to the airport to go home, and she told me she'd really liked me and she'd had a wonderful time, but she just didn't think this long-distance dating arrangement was going to work out for her. She cited the case of a fellow she had dated from Cincinnati, 50 miles from Dayton, who told her that she was geographically undesirable. So how on earth is 450 miles going to work out? And so I took her to the airport, and I drove home, and we didn't talk for almost 4 months. Now, many years later, I learned that Tammy and Greg had been talking with her. And if I tell me if I've got the story right, that your words to her were something like, "Are you crazy?" So along about July, I got a call from her, and she said she was reassessing the idea of this long-distance relationship, and a friend of hers was able to get tickets for Phantom of the Opera. Was I interested? I think my answer was something like, hell yes. I drove to Dayton on a Friday afternoon, and I got to her apartment. She said, "We got to leave right now to go to Columbus to the theater." And we got back in the car, and I'd just driven 450 miles. Get back in the car, and it's summertime, and so construction barrels all across the highway, and we're doing 20 miles an hour down the freeway. I thought we were going to be late, but we made it in time. We found Jane. We got the tickets. We had seats in nosebleed territory. It was the second to the last row in the top balcony of the Ohio Theater, and we had a fantastic time. We continued to see each other about one weekend a month for the next year, and had some wonderful trips. But her job was coming to an end, and we started talking about can we make this relationship more permanent or at least full time. And she came to Muscatine to stay with me, and we spent what she says were the longest years of her life in Muscatine, Iowa. But we continued to travel. We went to California to visit the girls out there. And one particular trip, we were at Capitola, out on the pier, and talking over drinks and saying, "Wouldn't it be great if we all lived in San Diego?" And we began toasting to all of us moving to San Diego, not having any idea how this was going to happen. I said, it started out with such a strange coincidence, meeting in an airport the way we did, and then, first of all, she told me it was no coincidence. The church where she went in Dayton had what they called soul rays, similar to our sacred circles here. She said her soul ray sisters had been treating for the perfect relationship for her. She said, "You didn't stand a chance." And I learned about the power of intention, because we set that intention that day on the pier in Capitola that we were all going to live together in San Diego, and not knowing how it was going to happen, but it did. And within, I think, 4 years, we had moved to San Diego, and Tammy and Greg had followed, and then Stuart and Michelle after them. And they've been in Temecula for the last 14 years. It's once we came to San Diego, we bought a place in Chula Vista, and long story how we got there, but we liked Seaside. We continued to go to Seaside. Sharron had started taking classes at Seaside because she wanted to get to know people. And the way she tells it, she never set out to be a practitioner. She just kept taking one class after another, and first thing she knows, she was a practitioner. All this time, we lived in Chula Vista. She was driving 40 miles each way up to Seaside during the week to attend classes. And then, the month she graduated as a practitioner, we moved into our house in Carlsbad. We had been to Seaside one Sunday, and we're having lunch on our way home, and okay, we're spending all of our free time in North County. Why do we live in Chula Vista? So, I did leave something out when we lived the 2 longest years of her life in Iowa. She had been writing in a gratitude journal, "Thank you, God, for my new home in California. Thank you, God, for my new home in California." So now she started writing again, "Thank you, God, for my new home in North County. Thank you, God, for my new home in North County." And here we are. We've had some terrific times along the way. We bought a timeshare in Hawaii. We've made 4 trips to Hawaii. We've traded for timeshare exchanges in other places. It's been a wonderful life, and most of all, I know Sharron cherished being able to be here with her grandchildren as they grew up. I think that's probably her most proudest accomplishment, being here for her grandchildren. When she was going through hospice care, one of the hospice volunteers was asking me, because I'd mentioned that I'd retired just about the time she got the cancer diagnosis, and he said, "Now, you hadn't been waiting for retirement to go do fun things together, were you?" And I said, "No, we have been having a wonderful time all along the way." And there's another hospice lady who, but you've probably seen from the slideshow that Sharron had a lot of sparkly outfits. While she was on hospice care, she got a sponge bath twice a week, and often she would, instead of getting back into her pajamas, she'd get into slacks and a top, and of course her tops were all sparkly. And one of the hospice ladies had observed this and said, "Some of us are born with glitter in our veins." Certainly applies to Sharron. It's been a wonderful life, and I am so grateful that I've been able to share it with her. And I'm so grateful for our lovely seaside community and our many other friends. Thank you all for being here today. And I'll turn this over to daughter Tammy, who's going to give you a little more of Sharron's life. Thank you.
This is my backup in case I can't get through it. And I just want to add to Carrie's, it was more along the lines of, Mom, if you don't make this work, we may disown you. We loved Carrie right from the start. So yeah, we're here today to celebrate the life of my mother, Sharron Powell. I speak on behalf of myself, my family, and my sister, Michelle. Everyone here has experienced the blessing it was to know my mother. She touched so many lives with her unyielding love and compassion. I'll begin with a quote from Queen Elizabeth II, "Grief is the price we pay for love." Everyone here was blessed to have felt my mother's love, and so everyone here feels the grief of her loss. However, what we once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose, for all that we love deeply becomes part of us, as so aptly put by Helen Keller. Our childhoods were not always idyllic, but the one constant we always had in our life was our mother's love. No matter the circumstances, her love was felt and provided comfort to any who were lucky enough to call her a mother, wife, nana, friend, or acquaintance. She was always the first person I called, be it in good times and bad. Her love knew no bounds and had no restraints. Many of the good things I remember from my childhood revolve around her. She showed me how to love unconditionally and gave me the traditions I have now passed on to my beautiful boys, Jake and Kyle. The lullabies she sang to us every night without fail, the silly games she played with us when we were small, and most importantly, the unconditional love she showed to everyone in her life. She was there for both of my children's births, and she fell in love with them as much as I did. I see today the confirmation of how many lives my mother touched, and I'd like to take a moment to thank everybody for coming and for those joining us via live streaming. I know it would bring her great joy to know how much she meant to so many people. I have to mention, well, actually, Carrie kind of talked about it already, the reason we were so blessed to live so close together for the past 18 years. We were in Capitola having cocktails and talking about living in California, and that's all it took. She went back and started a vision board, which pretty much consisted of them moving to California. And, you know, as Carrie said, within about a year, they were here, and then within a year after that, my sister and her family and my family was here. Well, our mother may have manifested it, but Carrie made it a reality. Carrie brought her so much joy, love, and comfort during their marriage, and we'll be forever grateful to him for taking such great care of our mother. Let me end with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and love much, to win the respect of intelligent persons and the affection of children, to earn the approbation of honest critics and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to give of oneself, to leave the world a little better, whether by a healthy child, a garden path, or a redeemed social condition. To have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation. To know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. Mom, you accomplished all of these things and so much more. My mother will be so sorely missed by those left behind, but we can take comfort knowing that we all have our own personal guardian angel. I know with all of my heart that she is, was, and always will be with us. A flame as bright as hers can never be extinguished. One more thing I'd like to share, a brief poem I wrote for my mother, who always made me feel like my silly poems were works of art. A daughter's gratitude. My heart is filled with love and gratitude. Of course, since these qualities your spirit imbued, your love and support through all of these years, through good times and bad, and quite a few tears. Thank you for showing me how to be kind, and for guiding me when the light I can't find, for always believing in all that I do, for showing me that love can be strong and be true. Although at the moment my heart is full of grief, and sometimes right now I feel like God is a thief. I know when I'm rational it's all for the best. Your tired, aching body is finally at rest. And though you'll be missed with each beat of my heart, I know it's not the end. It's simply a new start. We love you, Mom. And now, unfortunately, Jan Hartman can't be here today, but she wanted to share some observations about Mom, which I want to relay for her. Jan became a dear friend of the family over the last 6 months. She stopped by almost every single day and always knew the right words, not just for Mom, but for Michelle and Carrie and I as well. We feel honored to have shared this experience with her. She was such a comfort to us all, and we will be forever grateful to her. So here it goes. When diagnosis became an experience and not just a word, here's what I observed. Everyone, and I mean everyone that this woman had ever touched with her heart and her love, scurrying, scrambling, evaluating, assessing. Not to get away from the reality of and its heart's determinations, not to get away from anything. I witnessed a tsunami of people rushing full tilt towards something unknown. I witnessed explosions of activity created by those who were driven to show their love, to help, to offer, to cry out, to pray, to cook, to care, to visit, even to resist and rush to protect and guard against anything that may take even 1 ounce of Sharron away from this time and space. The reason? Because Sharron was always the one who moved toward loving and giving to everyone else. Sharron, always there offering faith, love, trust, and constancy. Sharron, always there in the worst and best of times for anyone who sought her heart. Sharron, always teaching that spirit guides the path for each of us, always a practitioner, knowing the world as its loving potential despite the appearance. I was blessed with many moments with Sharron, in prayer, in laughter, in the sweetness of discussing life and memories, in discomfort, in doubt, in resistance, mad at her lungs in the medical world. Mostly I saw Sharron wanting to stay here, wanting Carrie and her daughters and their families to be okay and know that she loved them. So grateful for all of them, so grateful for Seaside, her sacred circle, and her friends in spirit. We talked many times about how we will all have our time to walk into a new definition of trust, faith, and the true meaning of our soul's highest good. That place where truth and the road ahead march right in and show us that experiences might go differently than we thought. Watching her journey brought me clarity about the depth of my own faith in eternality. She loves me, and I love her. We remain co-April Fools for always. The honor and privilege has been mine. What words speak my observations of Sharron? Loving, joyful, exuberant, powerful, ever curious, luminous, shining, courageous, optimistic, tenacious, grateful, determined, graceful, beautiful, everlasting, eternal, limitless, expansive, an expression of God in its fullness. Thank you, Jan, for your beautiful words. And now I think it's time for her granddaughter, Courtney.
Thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the temporal and eternal life of a radiant spirit whom I have the honor of calling Nana. It makes my heart smile to see just how many people Nana shined her light upon in the past 75 years. When I was 3 years old, I brought Nana to my preschool show and tell, as she lived halfway across the country. My teacher asked where Nana lived, and I confidently replied, at the airport, as if every Nana lived there. I shrugged my head with embarrassment when I could not understand why these adults chuckled at me. Just as I was not quite sure where Nana lived when I was 3 years old, but always knew I would soon see her again, I am not completely sure where Nana is in this moment, but look forward to the day our hands touch once again. Today, we honor the spirit who raised two beautiful women in circumstances that were far from optimal. Today, we honor the spirit who endowed so many traditions to our family, which will persevere for generations to come. Today, we honor the spirit who attended every single recital, performance, graduation, award ceremony, event, and tournament of my brother, cousins, and myself. Today, we honor the spirit who rushed home to retrieve my Toto stuffed animal after I tragically forgot him prior to an audition. Today, we honor the spirit who went to the end of the world to find perfect forklifts, clowns, mermaids, and costumes for my brother and me before eBay and Amazon existed. Today, we honor the spirit who mended so many lives working as a drug and alcohol rehabilitation counselor for 20 years. Today, we honor the spirit who longed for world peace and faithfully lobbied her political platform. Today, we honor the spirit who saw the beauty in every person in every situation and whose inherent presence ameliorated anyone's discomfort due to her warming rhetoric and serene aura. Today, we honor the spirit who led her church's sacred circle for 13 years with utmost wisdom and grace. Today, we honor the spirit who taught me to eat pie for breakfast because it has fruit in it. Today, we celebrate 75 glorious years and the metamorphosis of a perfect spirit who radiated light, love, and peace in every moment during her tangible time on earth. Today, we say goodbye, and yet we also say hello. We say goodbye to the body that served Nana on this plane of existence for so many years, and greet our relationship with her spirit that begins anew. This celebration is binary, as we release what has been and open our hearts to a new relationship that is reborn through the grace of God. We seek solace, knowing that life never ends, but rather transmutes, as Nana's spirit shines more vibrantly than ever. A notorious Buddhist quote states, "What the caterpillar perceives as the end, to the butterfly is just the beginning." If I had to describe Nana in one word, it would be love. Nana loved every human in the world, with maybe the exception of Donald Trump. Other people's pain, happiness, suffering, and joy manifested in Nana as if it were her own. My freshman year of college, a meningitis outbreak caused an athlete at my school, Aaron Loy, to lose both of his legs. Nana became emotionally invested in a stranger's journey, donating money to the Loy family, sending a card, and praying for Aaron's peace and healing every morning. Years later, when Aaron's tragedy became old news, you could still hear Nana praying for Aaron in her morning ritual up until the day she became very ill. It was extremely humbling to spend the night at Nana's house and overhear her daily prayer routine. Every morning, Nana would open the obituary section in a newspaper and say prayers for each of the fallen people. Nana enjoyed working with the families of people suffering from addiction during her time as a rehabilitation counselor. When Nana had a hysterectomy and Carrie had not yet entered her life, work prevented my mom and aunt from immediately flying to Ohio. A nurse approached Nana after her surgery and said, "You probably don't remember me, but you impacted my family's life so much. I would like to help you the way you helped my brother." The nurse soon got off work and sat by Nana's side overnight, comforting her until my mom and aunt got to Ohio. This story is exemplary of all the lives Nana's touched. Nana accepted and loved every person she ever met and was blind to all imperfections. I never had to worry about filtering my thoughts or choosing a matching outfit around Nana, because I knew she'd think the sun still shined out my ass if I wore a paper bag and spoke gibberish for the rest of my life. Since I am speaking today on behalf of my brother and me, I would like to acknowledge the ineffable relationship between Derek and Nana. Nana drove to Temecula every weekend before she got sick to take Derek out to lunch. For those of you who know my brother are probably aware he shares Nana's pure heart and vast intelligence, but is often on his own page in life. Because of her unbounded acceptance, Derek confided in Nana like no one else, which provided a great outlet for my brother, shaping him into the loving human he is today. I was enduring health issues when I was just 3 years old. And prior to undergoing surgery, Nana was just as worried as my parents. Nana had an out-of-body experience while visiting a shaman in which she envisioned us dancing together at my wedding. She persuaded my mom that this vision was so palpable and vivid, there was nothing to worry about regarding my health. So for my entire life, I have looked forward to dancing with Nana at my wedding. I always thought I could put off marriage until I was 60, and it would be okay because Nana would have to stay on Earth long enough for her vision to transpire. For a long time after learning of Nana's cancer, I was angry when I came to the realization she would be absent during monumental events such as this. I was angry with God, I was angry at Nana's lungs, and I was angry with doctors for being unable to fix Nana. 7 months later, my gratitude overpowers my wounds. I am overwhelmed with gratefulness that out of 7 billion people in the world, God chose Sharron K. Powell to be my Nana. Nana will still dance with me at my wedding. Nana will dance with me every day as she guides me through these formative years of my life. Nana will dance when she sees me land my first job as a lawyer, when I walk down the aisle, and when I hold my first child. Before Nana passed, my mom told her to go fly with the butterflies. So I ask, every time you see a butterfly, to remember Nana's beauty and grace and send her my love. My last great memory with Nana before cancer invaded her body was this past Thanksgiving when I was outside with my mom, aunt, boyfriend, brother, and Mary Jane. Nana walked outside, and her words verbatim were, "I'd rather watch my grandchildren get stoned than watch football inside." And a wave of laughter rolled through the room. I would like to thank the members of Nana's Sacred Circle for making her a scrapbook last year, as it meant the world to her. I would like to thank each and every one of you for loving Nana and helping compose the story of her life, as I know every person here played an imperative role in the beautiful narrative. I would like to thank everyone who blessed Nana with their presence or delivered a meal when Nana's health deteriorated. I would like to thank my papa, who treated Nana like a queen for so many years, and is who Nana described as her good karma being returned to her by the universe. Most of all, I would like to thank Nana for giving me life and epitomizing unconditional love for 20 years. I feel truly blessed that Nana and my boyfriend Anthony got to know each other these past few years. Nana could always differentiate pure souls from others. And knowing she loved him and his six-pack as much as I do is something I will value forever. This past year, Nana also had the honor of meeting the love of my brother's life, Kiernan. Prior to meeting Kiernan, my instinctively sisterly standards began to culminate, and Nana reminded me, I love anyone who loves my grandson and makes him happy. Our family immediately fell in love with Kiernan, and Nana knew from the beginning she and Derek were made for one another. I believe it brought Nana solace in the last 6 months to know my brother and I are taken care of by amazing people. The day Anthony and I became aware of Nana's sickness, we rushed home that night from Santa Barbara. Before our departure, I was teary-eyed in my last class of the day and decided to compose something to read to Nana, as writing is often a comforting avenue I utilize to express my feelings. I read this to Nana time and time again, and I would be honored to share it with you guys today. My sweet, beautiful, selfless, angelic Nana, who gave me the gift of life. You are the sun, while I am merely a planet orbiting around your circuit with the rest of my kin. You are disproportionately salient to the rest of us, as your strength is vital to our existence, percolating and maintaining our perfect astronomical balance. You radiate a vibrant light, permeating every planet in a unique way, explaining why my brother Mercury resides closest to you but rotates astoundingly slow in its own unique way, and my mother Earth is a great sustainer, akin to yourself. The solar system is afflicted with a menacing threat, rendering chaotic disequilibrium, affecting every planet equally. Our progenitor has become ill. Every planet is laden with terror of what will become of us when we can no longer orbit around the circuit of which she has always guided us, bestowing love and nurturing. We are all eager to fix her, desperately seeking a remedy, anything to abate the beast that threatens our supporting gravity. My planet has been encumbered by a monsoon of sadness and confusion as I ponder why such an innocent entity is burdened with such cataclysm. I rotated around you 20 times. Continuing to orbit around a hollow interior is calamitous, and I wonder if it is possible to not deviate from a circular rotation. I harbor no fear for the beautiful sun, as I know her presence is needed in a distant but ostensibly faraway galaxy where all beings exhibit her same manifestation of peace and love. I know with my heart and soul that upon the time our physical sun has departed, her light shall shine brighter than ever before. Time it will take for each planet to comprehend our ever-closeness to she who engendered us, and to feel her presence pervading our lives more vehemently than ever, giving us strength to heal. Our planets will continue orbiting around her robust lucent, guided by the valuable wisdom she ingrained in our spirits. The sun will watch generations flourish with the same eyes as us, glistening with blinding light of pride. In the midst of black holes and meteor showers, she will emanate strength and cradle our spirits, reminding us we can persevere with utmost triumph. The sun will forever remain the salient part of our solar system, illuminating love and protection through every rotation and breath, until the day we are wise enough to transition to her glorious temple. You're a shooting star, I love you to the moon and back, and to infinity and beyond.
Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a beautiful tribute to a beautiful spirit. As you've heard, Sharron led the Sacred Circle here at Seaside for 13 years. So we have a representative from the Sacred Circle. Oh, I'm sorry, Carol. Carol, sorry. Her good friend for many, 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 many years, I think from high school, right? Carol.
That's right. Thank you.
Sorry, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. Even if I don't know you, I know you touched Sharon's life, and I am very grateful for that. My name is Carol. Oops. My name is Carol. I live in Maryland right now, but I was born in Dayton, Ohio, where Sharron spent a lot of her growing up years. Sharron and I met when we were young teenagers. We went to high school together. Her sister Sandy went to the same high school, so I knew Sandy. I'd been to Sharon's house several times. I remember her parents and her little brothers, Bill and Mike. Sharron knew my family as well. We also happened to have boyfriends that knew each other. They worked together, and they were friends. So we did a lot of double dating. And Sharron and I became close. As soon as we met each other, there was something, that spark that happens sometimes between people that makes you think maybe on another plane, there had been something going on. So we were tight right away. And even then, Sharron loved music. She loved to dance. She had a passion for talking about spiritual matters even then. Even though she was a little more traditional, and I came from a Unitarian background. Now, those of you who know Unitarians know we pray to whom it may concern. So we had some lively talks. Over the years, there is no one that I've laughed more with, that I've shared sorrows more with, that I've come to love more than my friend Sharron. We had a truly unique and wonderful relationship over the years. She was a beautiful, brave, wonderful friend, and I will miss her always. But I do know that she is here. She is here now with us, and she will always be a great part of my life. During the last week that I was with Sharron, we talked quite honestly about the possibility that we might not meet again on this plane. And it was such a blessing to share that we both had that friendship to carry with us, no matter where we were. Although we both lived in Dayton for a very short time when we were young mothers and wives and got together a bit then, for most of the time, Sharron and I didn't live in the same town, but we kept in touch always, and we visited back and forth, and our bond grew deeper and stronger. Now, you've heard a lot about what a great friend Sharron was and how she loved everyone and how she helped everyone. And so I will tell you my own story with that. When I was in my early 40s, I was living in the DC area. Sharron was living in Dayton, Ohio. And my life was really on a downward spiral. I was in very bad shape. So I decided I would take my brother up on his offer. He lived in Dayton, and I moved back with him. I was very confused, I was very discouraged, I was very unwilling to face my problems, but I knew that I had to. So naturally, I called Sharron right away when I got back, and she said, "Hey, I think I can help you out. But first of all, your brother's a lovely person, he has a nice family, but it is too boring over there. You need to come and live with me, and we'll have a good time together." And boy, did we ever have a good time. Sharron went to a discussion group on Fridays, and I went with her. It was in a church, and singles discussion. And afterwards, there was a place in Dayton called the Christopher Club, where you went and you danced. Of course, we went there. So after the discussion group. So we would both go in and dance, and Sharron would dance on the table, she would dance on the floor, she would dance and she would dance and she would dance, and long after I was worn out and just wanting to go home, Sharron would say, "Oh, come on, Carol, I'll come after this one more dance." Sharron had a huge impact on my life in every way. But that time that I spent with her, those months that we were together in Dayton, just were wonderful for me because, again, we shared so much. We were cooking together. We were living together. We were dancing. And I really recovered myself. And when I went back to Maryland a few months later, I was filled with life again. Had my life back, went back to school, and changed direction. And it was such a profound change. It made us so much closer, and my life to this day is beautiful in many ways, and a lot of that is due to those few months that I spent with my good friend Sharron. Sharron and I shared a birthday. Now, Sharon's birthday was on April 1st. Mine is June the 23rd. But Sharron would complain about that birthday. She got really tired of being the butt of the April Fool jokes. And she kept moaning and groaning about it, and she'd say, "Oh, I wish I didn't have a birthday on April 1st. And finally I said, "Sharron, I'll tell you what, I will give you my birthday. That way, you do not have to turn a year older until I do. And you can escape all those jokes. But we need to celebrate together." And over the years, in many different places, we did that. And we tried to do it every year. We didn't always make it, but we celebrated our birthdays together with great joy and zest. And some of the best memories of my life are sharing those times with Sharron. And on our 70th, AK, Carrie joined us. This is after Carrie, and I got to spend some time with Carrie. We went to New Orleans, and we all three celebrated together. Had a wonderful trip, and Sharron came even though at the time she was in some pain and she was in a wheelchair. Carrie wheeled her all over New Orleans, and we had a blast. Speaking of age, Sharron really did not like it when I introduced her as my oldest friend. You know, she was a little sensitive about that. So one day she said to me, "Carol, I think it would be much, much better if you would introduce me as your friend of longest standing." And so to this day, I am very, very proud to be Sharron's friend of longest standing. On our 75th birthday, we celebrated the one and only time on her birthday, April the 1st. I had come out to California, and of course she was quite ill. And we had that wonderful week together. It was a healing week. And I was so impressed with her great husband, Carrie, all the devoted love that he gave her, and her daughters, Tammy and Michelle, and their families. And she was totally surrounded by love from people from this community, her friends, her family. It was as if they were making an invisible circle around her. And when I walked into that house, I could feel it. I could really feel it. And I know it was a great comfort to Sharron. And certainly, it was wonderful for me to see. During her last illness, I had a dream about Sharron. I dreamed we were riding together in the back seat of a car. She and I, we were talking. And we were planning a garden. And I was talking about the flowers, and I'm a gardener, and asking her what kind of flowers she wanted to have in her garden. And so we talked about the garden, and I can't even remember how the dream ended, but I woke up, and my first thought was, gee, that's kind of funny because Sharron really doesn't like to garden. And then I realized, of course, that garden was our friendship. And that all the things that we had together over the years, all the love and devotion and sorrow and joy and dancing and talking, they were all in that garden. And that garden is real to me now. It's kind of my eternal garden. I like to think of it that way. And I think if you look really closely, you might see a butterfly flying over that garden. I have been so blessed by Sharron's friendship. It's something that I will treasure always. And I know that I am not alone in that. And I know that even though we're all having a hard time letting go of Sharron, that it was time for her to let go of this body. And I am grateful to be thinking of her as that butterfly that's flying over that garden. And now, this is from Maya. And she was not able to be here, and I will read it for her. First, before Carrie, Maya says, "My entire life has been obvious to see the hand of God directing and guiding me. It is easy to see in the following words. To the best of my memory, Sharron and I met in 1983, which makes us the best of friends for 33 years. This lucky introduction happened through a mutual friend. We were both going group interaction at this time, but I had not met Sharron. I met George at this group and shared with him that it was really important to me to have more women friends. George called me one day and told me he had someone he wanted me to meet. And there was Sharron, one of the greatest gifts of my life. Sharron lived in the Dayton, Ohio area, and I lived in Troy, about 30 minutes apart. We became really good friends in a very short time. I had met a woman who was attending a religious science church in Dayton, and she invited me to go with her one Sunday. I had been a practicing Catholic, and so this decision was huge. The first time I went in this church, my feeling was one of coming home. It was so warm and welcoming. I just loved it. It seemed the right thing to do was to invite Sharron to go with me one Sunday. This love needed to be shared. So all of you here today know how that visit turned out for our beloved Sharron. My son Rob was still at home as he was just 13 years old, but we were having a difficult time. His father was no longer living with us. It was very obvious that we needed some help. Now enter my best friend, who just happened to be a counselor. Here's a quick letter from my son. Dear family and friends of Sharron, I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you the impact Sharron made on my life. Sharron and my mom became friends in 1983. Soon after, my mom started sharing with her some of the situations and problems she was having with me. Mom was a single mom at this time, and now I can understand what she went through. I was praying and getting into trouble with friends. Praying. So I was partying. Should have been praying. Sharron suggested to my mom to bring me down to a treatment center where she was working. Mom did that as soon as she could get an appointment. I was resistant at first, but deep down, I knew I had a problem. Since treatment, I have been clean for 32 years, married for 28 years, have 2 beautiful kids, and been at the same job for almost 20 years. I share this with you because I don't know if any of this would have happened if not for Sharron's love and friendship to both my mother and me. With love and gratitude, Rob, son of Maya. It wasn't long until we started to take some trips together, some of which I would like to share with you now. We went south to the beautiful mountains. We did more hiking than either of us had the energy for or could stand. The last hike we went on took us way back to see a waterfall, which was beautiful. However, we should have given consideration to the time it would take us to trek back out. We had a great time, as always. Sharron invited me to go to California when Michelle and Stuart were going to get married. Except Stuart and Michelle got married in Hawaii. Well, we got the use of Michelle's car, and we had fun driving up and down the coast. We went up to the Lake Tahoe, and enjoyed a ride on a catamaran and other things. Now it may be the same time when we were staying at Tammy's, and the dishwasher overflowed all over the kitchen floor. Now, we did not have anything to do with that. What I mean to say is it wasn't our fault. There is so much more to say about our relationship during that time, but I will tell you about some of our times now with Carrie, after Carrie. Sharron and Carrie met at an airport. Oh, you heard that one. On a layover, each on their way to California. Still living in Ohio, my intuition kept whispering to me to move to Indiana. Spirit is already ahead of the game, working to get me in place for them. Carrie started driving from Iowa to Ohio for his dates with Sharron. That is a long way. Now I always act on my intuition. So naturally, I moved to the Indiana sand dunes on Lake Michigan. This was a perfect place for them to meet. On one visit, I received a call from Sharron to please meet me in town at Dunkin' Donuts. It was dark and getting late, and my home was in the woods, and it was difficult to locate at night. When I got to town, it wasn't necessary for me to go in because I saw Sharron sitting in her car with a door open and a cup of coffee sitting on the top. She said that nothing more would fit inside the car. In our little town of Chesterton, we had this great restaurant named the Waterbird, and they had singing waiters. We went to enjoy a great meal one evening, and can you guess who joined them singing? Anyone knows somebody named Carrie Powell? Yes, he did, and we had an absolutely wonderful evening. Now, Sharron went from Ohio to Iowa and then California, and I went from Iowa to Indiana to Arizona and then back to Ohio. With Sharron and Carrie living in California and me in Arizona, it was so much easier to visit, and I could bring my white wolf dog with me. Sharron and I had so many fun times together and also sad times together, and that is what life is about. May she rest in peace. I love her and her family so very much. The love will always be there, as it will not change because we can't see her. We can't see her physical body. It is her true self that was loved so deeply, as with all of us. Mike.
Thank you so much. And now someone from the Sacred Circle of Sharron is going to briefly talk about their experiences with Sharron. And thank you, Martha, you had a lot to do with setting all this up, didn't you?
Sandra did it.
Sandra.
Sandra
Thank you, Sandra and Martha.
Hi, I'm Ann Hunter. I've been a member of Sharron's Sacred Circle for quite a number of years, and I've heard all the fill-ins from my observations, and my major observation of all the years I've known her is this love of her family. We got to hear the story about her, how she and Carrie met so many times. We got to hear about her daughters and grandchildren and family, and the theme was always her great love for everyone. And it overflowed to us. We were very fortunate. She treated us all the same. It was not, she was incredible how she could just love everyone and be an innocent bystander to all that was going on. I was at the beach today. It's a place I go when I need to think. It's a place I need to go, or a place I'm drawn to when my heart is heavy. And I thought a lot about her and about today. And I recalled a quote from Gandhi, which was, the religions of the world are like a string of pearls, and the thread that holds it all together is God. Well, it made me think of Sharron, and what held us all together was love, and that was what she had for all of us. So what I'm going to share with you today is, excuse me. When Sharron decided to retire earlier this year, we wanted to do something for her to show our love and appreciation of her. Earlier in the year, we had had a number of losses, and we'd been to celebrations of life, and we began talking among us, wouldn't it be nice if we said nice things to people while they were still alive so they could hear it? And you know, when Sharron decided to retire, we thought, what can we do for her? So 3 or 4 of us at the same time had about the same idea. It was, why don't we put together a book or an album with our memories, our impact that she's had on our lives and on Sacred Circle. So we did this, and it took many hands and a lot of time and collaboration and effort to gather together the words and photographs, and we put it all together in a book. And I have taken a few sentences from what each person said in that book, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. You meet life's challenges head on, and along with your loving spirit, there is a strength that can't be conquered. You held the group together and nurtured us. You prayed for us and with us, lifting us spiritually. Kind-hearted, generous, inspirational, mediation guider, and peacekeeper has a way of embracing everyone with tact, ease, eloquence, and grace. What I remember most is spending evenings with you in the fall of 2007 at the Flying Elephant in Carlsbad, watching the Democratic debates on the big screen TVs, eating chili and feeling hope. I was so glad to be able to celebrate the election of President Obama with you. Though our conversations were not always spiritual, since we sometimes had political discussions, as we all were diehard Democrats and bra burners from way back, we always had a good time. It was through our coffee meetings that I learned how passionate and caring you are about so many important issues that mattered to us. Who is Sharron Powell to me? A woman who is warm, loving, courageous, passionate, kind, caring, humble, authentic. There was a welcoming and acceptance, a shared like-mindedness, an openness and sincere caring, connection, support, compassion, continuity, and love. My entry into Seaside would not by itself offer the connection that I needed. It was the intimate, warm, and authentic sharing that touched my soul. You are a woman of extraordinary heart, wisdom, and devotion that I am blessed to have in my life. There are so many times when I think of you and review what I have learned and feel the love you have given. Under your guidance, there was a safe place to share, learn, and grow in so many ways. You created a space filled with love, warmth, acceptance, and compassion, and made us all feel so valued and cherished. We became instant friends and have enjoyed that friendship all these years. My husband dealt with the serious health issues while I was in your sacred circle. You always held my hand when I needed you to, and he passed away a few years later. You were always there for me. You are indeed an angel in form. It has been a delight and a peaceful, yet expanding learning experience to participate in your sacred circle. I admired your leadership. You showed and are still showing an unusual, beautiful combination of strength and sensitivity. You have called me every day in times of great trauma, helping me to unfold like a flower. I'm excited about your new choice for serving and know you will make a big difference in the lives of the people you visit. You are so needed and you are perfect for the job. I say thank you, and you will be seeing you at Seaside with your smile, that great smile of yours, and the love that you give out to all. And the last entry in our book. Sharron Powell not only completed the requirements for practitioner, but exceeded expectations through her unique, gentle, loving, and sensitive service that included her 16 years of compassionate leadership of sacred circles.
Thank you, Anne. Thank you very much, Anne. What a beautiful tribute to our beautiful Sharron. And what lovely tributes to her. And we're going to miss her so deeply here, her physical presence. But as everyone has said, her love will never end. And I was so impressed with that soulmate love that she and Carrie had for each other, and to witness it. What a wonderful model for all of us to have that kind of love in our life. And what a wonderful model she was and still is for all of us in loving service to everyone she touched. I was especially impressed in the last couple of months of her life, seeing her spirit, seeing her absolute trust in the presence of God, and the trust in Carrie, and the trust in all of her friends. And what a beautiful, beautiful example for our dear, dear spiritual practitioner, Sharron. And so as we think of Sharron's spirit soaring, let's listen to another song by Peggy Lebo, and then by Carrie.
I just loved Sharron. She was so incredibly kind to me and so beautiful and all about love. So I see why you guys chose this next song to honor her, and it's Love Will Lead the Way Home.
speaks to our hearts. Follow the signs, 'cause they're all around us in the love that surrounds us. No matter how far we may go, love will lead the way home. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. If we follow the light that shines in all of us, follow the dream that speaks to our hearts, follow the signs, 'cause they're all around us in the love that surrounds us. No matter how far we may go, love will lead the way. Love will lead the way. Love will lead the way home. Out in the streets, the people are singing and saying it's time to come home.
I am just overwhelmed with the love and support from all of you today. If you will indulge me just a minute, I have got to get a picture of this. We started out our relationship with guitar and song, and I sang for our wedding, so I guess it's only fitting that I sing again today. I want to do a song that I have sung to Sharron many times. It's a Rod Stewart song. I'm sure you know it. Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my heart with gladness, take away all my sadness, ease my troubles, that's what you do. For the morning sun and all its glory greets the day with hope and comfort too. You fill my life with laughter, somehow you make it better, ease my troubles, that's what you do. There's a love that's divine, and it's yours, and it's mine, like the sun. And at the end of the day, we should give thanks and pray to the one Have I told you lately that I love you? Have I told you there's no one else above you? You fill my life with laughter. Somehow you make it better. Ease my troubles. That's what you do. I love you, babe.
Well, as long as you're all standing up, before we do a prayer, why don't we acknowledge Sharron, that light and that love that she was and is. Do you all feel her? She's here today. And even though we know that life goes on, we can miss her. We can cry as much as we want to. How many have cried in the past few months? That's okay. That's okay. But what I invite us to do is just give Sharron a standing ovation for that life and the love that she is. And let's just say all together, we love you, Sharron, 3 times. We love you, Sharron. We love you, Sharron. We love you, Sharron. And let's pray. So turning within to that place where I know there is only that power, that presence, that light, that love of spirit. Through and as all universes, through and as this place, this planet, and the dimension where Sharron is right now, experiencing this light and that love of all of us for her. I'm knowing that she is that each one here is that. And now floating in the comfort of love, let us release Sharron to her highest good. We let her float in a mist cloud of love to her next experience. We release her into the universe like a bird who, after only knowing how to walk on land for years, suddenly discovers it can fly. We allow Sharron to fly to whatever learnings and experiences are next for her on her pathway of being. We bask in the comfort and in the joy of knowing that Sharron is in her perfect right place, doing and being whatever is perfect for her right now. And we bask in the comfort of knowing that each of us is in our perfect right place and perfect right time, right now. And knowing that the gift we can give to Sharron is to live our lives as the example she led. Live our lives in love, live our lives in service, live our lives in joy, and live our lives in that beautiful connection of spirit that she had and that we all have. And I'm just so grateful for this beautiful, beautiful being of Sharron that is here and continuing ever eternally. As I release this word, knowing that it is now done. And so it is. Amen. So I know that all of you have lots and lots of sharing about Sharron. And we have a reception out in the back for all of you so that you continue sharing your light and your love for Sharron. Let's say one more time to Sharron, we love you, Sharron. Namaste. Let's let the family go out first, please.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, And if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Sharon.
And life keeps blessing me with so much good. I wouldn't change it even if I could. Blessing me in every way, and if it all turns out okay, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. See yourself through me, seeing you, seeing me. Use my eyes to recognize the essence of your beauty, and I'll see myself through you, seeing me, seeing you. Use your eyes to recognize the lies I've tried to prove. All I am is all you are, and all you are is in my heart. Come now, you'll see clearer. Let me be your mirror of love. Be yourself with me. Honestly, it's safe to be deep in